G'day guys, welcome back to MG Rebuild. In today's episode we're going to mount the good old Girling rear shocks. On the Girling rear shocks, they've got a shocky link. It's a little bit different to the Armstrong ones. As you can see, it's like a bit of a J shape. And you've got to put the bushes into the eye. Now, as you can see, it's an extremely tight fit. Now, there is a kit you can get that will assemble those, but I'm either too tight or too much of a hurry or possibly both. So I actually made one on my own. This is part of it. That's actually to fit the bush in through there. So you pop the bush in there and it will squeeze it all the way through. Now it's just made out of a bit of aluminium tube and it was bent over to make a little bit of a funnel type shape. It's very crude, but it does work. Okay, to start off with, to be able to put the bush into the funnel, adapter, or whatever you want to call it, I've put a little bit of dishwashing liquid in there just to lubricate it. So there's just a matter of, you can actually push it in with your thumbs. As you can see, push it in until it's at the end. And then we go move over to the hydraulic press and then push it into the actual link. Okay, so I've got a socket in there to help keep things square, and obviously the bush will just be pushed down into the housing. And as you can see there, it's nicely balanced in the housing now. Now, that's the easy part. The hard part is getting a pin through there. Another part of the kit that you would normally buy is like a bullet-shaped part where it then allows the actual the pin or whatever to go behind it, follow it through, and I'll take you over to the vise and show you how we do that. Another part of the kit is to actually push the arms or the actual pins through the bush. Now, as you can see, the diameter difference is quite a bit. It's not going to fit straight through. So the other part of the kit is like a bullet shaped piece. My father's got a metal lathe, so he turned one down for me, so I saved another few dollars there. So what we do, grease him up. Now, to stop the actual bush from being pushed through, we actually put a nut on the other side. So that's now inserting. Okay, that took a hell of a long time. Every time I put that little bullet piece in, I went to put in the shaft, it would pop back out again. In the end, I stopped recording it because one, it was boring, frustrating, and there's a lot of profanities. So I decided not to include that part in on the video because no one wants to see that. So anyway, the first one took me, I reckon, about an hour and a half to get it working, to get it right. Second one, 5 minutes. Go figure. I can't tell you the reason why, it's just the way it went. Anyway, so it's now got the shock absorber and the link arm all hooked up. What I have also done, I've put a split pin. I drilled a hole through the link arm, put a split pin in the actual end of it. I read on a couple of forums that after a while the rubbers will obviously wear, and that's normal. But what happens then, there's nothing really holding this onto the actual arm anymore, and it will fall out. So what I decided to do is drill a hole through it, put a split pin in there, and that will hold it. So if it does wear out, the arm will still be retained, and then I'll have to go buy a new one. So anyway, now it's time to put it on the car.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. Sometimes you need to go and take a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell. You and me, meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. You and me, meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
Okay, I've now mounted the shock absorber, as you saw, onto the chassis, and the actual link arm is now mounted to the axle, so it will actually now operate. I won't bother recording the other side. Once again, there's no point in repeating myself for you guys. It's watching the same thing twice. Who wants to do that? Anyway, just a little bit more one more thing. During the last couple of days, what I have done, I've put on the radiator support and also the steering rack and the new tie rod ends as well. So they're all mounted nice and tight. You can't adjust the actual wheel alignment until the engine is in the car and the full weight is on the axles. And that way it's actually at the correct ride height. So I'll leave that until the engine's back in, along with the actual suspension links and so forth. So this is the end of today's episode. Once again, subscribe to the page, like, share, click notifications, everything like that. We will have a Instagram account very shortly as well, so we'll put the links to that on the next video or two. And until then, we'll see you next time. See ya.